Hey guys, what's up? I am your AI sir. I welcome you all to this interactive video session. Today we are going to discuss the first chapter of your book, Reproduction in Plants. This is the name of your chapter. Before going to discuss in detail, we have here some things we should know first, such as these are the basic informations regarding this chapter, and it will be known as the past experience or past learning outcomes. I hope you have learned these terms such as what is the root, stem and their functions, flowers, fruits, seeds. We know that birds turn into flowers, such as for the case of different plants, birds are responsible for turning into the flowers, right? Flowers are also responsible for turning into fruits, and we know fruits have seeds. These are the basics information regarding the reproduction of plants. Because these terms will be used frequently in this chapter in order to properly understand the reproduction system in plants. Okay? It's my privilege to introduce the first term, that is reproduction, first. Thereafter we will discuss pin to pin point each and everything which are related to this chapter. First we have to understand what is reproduction. Reproduction is a biological process, and by this process we all individual organisms reproduce ourselves. That means by this process new individual organisms, they will be known as offsprings, are produced from this process, reproduction, from the parents' organisms. This reproduction system is the striking feature of all living organisms that we exist in this earth, including the plant. The notion existency or extinctions of any organism will directly depend on this system called reproduction. That means if any organism reproduces itself, it will exist in this earth, whereas if any organism is not able to produce itself, then it will extinct from this earth. That means its identity will be lost. Therefore, we can say the matter of existence or the matter of extinction will depend directly on the reproduction system. Therefore, it is known as the striking feature or the most important characteristic of all living organisms in this earth. In this chapter, we are going to discuss the two important things regarding the reproduction of plants. First, we will try to understand the reproduction of plants through stem, leaves and roots. We can use here the mnemonic is SLR. S means stem, L means leaves and R means root. These are the three important parts of plant we know, and using these three important parts a plant can easily reproduce to the newer one. And these three mode of reproduction of plant, that means through stem, through leaves and through roots, will be known as the vegetative propagation of plant. Clear? Apart from these three reproductive modes, there is also, and that is very much prevalent in the plant, and that is the seed. Through seed a plant also can reproduce itself. I hope this is clear. Now I am heading to your book directly so that we can understand easily. Reproduction is a characteristic feature of all living things. I have mentioned earlier, this is the striking feature of all living organisms. They produce their own kind. With the help of reproduction, they will produce their own. Like animal, plant may also reproduce to give rise to new plants. Now the question is, there are how many modes of reproduction of plants? The answer is there are two main modes. One is through the seed, another one is the vegetative propagation. And this vegetative propagation is mainly concerned with seed, leaves and the root. It is well known that most plants reproduce through seeds. But there are also many plants that can produce themselves by using root, stem and leaf. And this will be known as the vegetative reproduction. Therefore, if I ask you what is vegetative reproduction or propagation, the simple answer is whenever there will be the reproduction of any plant by using the vegetative parts of it, such as the mnemonic word is SLR, stem by stem, or through stem, through leaves and through root. This will be known as the vegetative propagation. Is it clear? I hope the definition or the concept of vegetative reproduction or propagation is clear. This is, in simple word, we can say a production which will be done by using the vegetative part of any plant. And the vegetative parts of plant are SLR. This is the mnemonic word. S means stem, L means leaves and R means roots. Now one by one we will discuss vegetative reproduction. The first mode is from root. First we have to understand what are the name of those plants that may reproduce themselves from root. The examples are sweet potato, these are the plant, dahlia, carrot and radish. These are the 4 types of plants given here in your book that can produce themselves by using the root. And the method is, if we cut the top portion of any, here the example is suppose the carrot. So if we cut the top portion of the carrot plant and whenever it will be planted in the ground, that means soil, the new plant we will get. This is the method. Clear? That is about the plant from roots. Using root we can easily produce same kind of plant, and here the example is root, by using root. And the example of the plants are dahlia, carrot, radish, sweet potato. For this kind of plants we will take help the root in form of vegetative propagation. For the second case, that is, we can produce the plants from leaves. The example is bryophyllum leaf. This is another name of plant, and this kind of plants use their own leaves in order to produce themselves. The method is here. You can see over here there is the picture of leaf, and in the margin of this leaf of the bryophyllum, there are birds, teeny birds, and from these teeny birds we will get another new bryophyllum plant. Teeny birds grow in the margin of the parent leaf. After some time they fall off on the ground and grow into the newer plants. Each bird gives rise to a new plant baby. This is the second method, and this method will be known as the leaf vegetative propagation method, and through this reproduction easily we can produce bryophyllum type of plants from their own leaves. And the main part is here we need to take consideration is bud. The third one, or the third mode of reproduction of plant, is the stem, the underground stems. These underground stems are known as modified structure of the plant. These underground stems are known as modified structure of the plant, and these are known as either rhizome, either tuber, or the bulb. Clear? All kind of underground stems or modified structures will be known as either rhizome or tuber or the bulb. That means, in simpler sense, we can say rhizome or tuber or the bulb will directly help to produce another new kind of plant, and this will be known as the underground modified stems of the plant. Now we need to consider the examples of those plants which are responsible for such kind of vegetative reproduction. First one is the ginger, the turmeric, and etc. These are the plants which will have rhizomes, and rhizomes are, we know, the underground modified structures. And in this plant, ginger and the turmeric, this modified structured rhizomes will help to produce the new plant. Is it clear? Now the second. So for the case of ginger and the turmeric, the same underground stem modified structure will be known as the rhizomes. And for the case of the plant of potato, the modified underground structure or stem will be known as the tuber. And this is a swollen part, and that will bear several nodes or eyes, and that will be responsible for rising to the newer plant. The last example is the bulb. For the case of onion and the garlic plant, the underground modified structure will be known as bulb, and this will help to rise the shoot, and shoot will become the new plant. Once again I repeat, this is the third mode of vegetative reproduction or propagation of the plant, and this is known as the underground modified structure, and it has three types of different names such as rhizomes, tuber, and the bulb. Rhizomes will be applicable for the plant like ginger and the turmeric, whereas for the case of the tuber, it will be applicable for the potato like plants, and the last one is the bulb, and it will be applicable for the onion and the garlic types of plants. And all rhizomes or tuber and the bulbs are the modified structure of the stems. Now these are the three different examples of the plants such as runner, sucker, and the cones. If I say what is a runner, runner is a stem that grows horizontally above the ground. For the case of strawberry plant and the grass, for these two types of plants, a runner is known as a stem, and the tip end of the runner can produce buds that will develop into a plants. For the case of strawberry and grass type of plants, runner will be responsible directly for the reproduction of the birds, and eventually birds will develop the new plants. Clear? So for the case of strawberry and the grass type of plants, runner is the main factor here in order to reproduce. For the plant of mint is the one kind of plant, and for this type of case, sucker will be responsible for reproducing. Like the runner, suckers are also very similar structure to the runners, and they are the underground modified stems, and that are run parallel to the ground, and they will be responsible to produce the new plant one. Over here you may consult this picture. This is the picture of the sucker mint, and by using the underground modified structure of stem, we can easily get another new plant. The final example is the plants from the cones. This is the diagram of the pine cones. Mainly or basically in the hilly areas or hilly regions, we will get different types of plants such as cedar, pine, redwood, and the hemlock. For this kind of plants, the reproduction method is the cones. Clear? Through cones we can easily reproduce such kind of plants. All things that we have discussed are mainly natural process of the reproduction of the plant. Here is another process that is known as the artificial process of reproduction of plants, and this is the cutting process, cutting, budding, etc. In this method, the stems of the plants are cut into very small teeny pieces, and from pieces we can easily develop a new plant. This will be the artificial process we use in our day-to-day life in order to reproduce the plant. This is very important. What is cutting? Cutting is another artificial method of producing the plants. In this method, we used to use the cut small pieces of plants, and we need to put it into the soil in order to develop the new plants. This is the diagram of vegetative reproduction or propagation in plants we have discussed earlier, such as root, then leaves, and the underground stems, SLR. These three will be known as the vegetative. Clear? As well as the runners, suckers, and the cones. The examples of the plants are, for runner case, strawberry; for sucker case, the mint; the cone case, fir and the cedar; and for case of the root vegetative reproduction, that is carrot, dahlia; the leaves, bryophyllum; underground stems, potato, and the onion. Now the case is, what are the advantages of the vegetative reproduction? The main advantages are, number one is the faster method to produce a new plant. Vegetative reproduction propagation is the one of the most important and the faster method to produce a new plant, and it is very economic and eco-friendly. Second one is the production of the seedless plant. In order to produce seedless plant, we can easily take help of the vegetative reproduction or propagation. What are the examples for such kind of cases? The examples are the grapes and the banana. Clear? In order to produce the grapes and the banana, we can easily take help of the vegetative propagation and the reproduction, because here we can easily produce the seedless plants. The third one is the plants produced by the vegetative propagation bear flowers and the fruits earlier than the new plants produced by the seeds. We can say in another word that vegetative reproduction will help to produce flowers and fruits in lesser time than the flower produced by the seeds. This was the brief discussion regarding the reproduction of the plants. In this first module, we have discussed what is reproduction and what are the modes of reproduction in the plants. There are two main modes, such as the seed. Through the seed we can reproduce the plants, and another one is the vegetative propagation. Under the vegetative propagation there are three types of sub-modes, such as we can produce the plants from roots. What are the examples of the plants? From the leaves and from the underground modified stems. And what are the examples? Here the questions you are advised to prepare for: what is reproduction, what is vegetative propagation, what is root based production with example, likewise leaf based production with example, and the underground modified stem based reproduction with example, and what is runner, sucker and the cones with example, and what is the advantage or what are the advantages of the vegetative reproduction. Thank you very much for this video. Have a nice day.